Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tiny Blue Games. My name, of course, is Sisa or Chris, and today we're talking about Maplestory 2, and specifically we're looking at the Mushking Royale, which is a new part of the game that was added during this beta, and as you might be able to guess from the Royale portion of the name, it is a battle royale, which for some people is like, really, come on, another battle royale, but for others it's like, hey, another game mode for this fun game. And I think it does fit well with Maplestory 2, as Maplestory 2 does strive to include lots of different mini games, lots of different ways to experience the game. So adding a different game mode into it like this, I think works really well. As you're going to watch in the background, you'll see how the game mode works. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll kind of talk about some of the pros and cons of it. So very similar to any other battle royale, you sort of start in a starting area and then you board a ship, and you can choose to get off the ship wherever you like. Very similarly, there's going to be a sort of storm or dead zone that's going to shrink the playable space, and it's eventually going to end up in one small circle with everyone sort of fighting it out to be the last person to survive. What you'll notice right away is although I'm on a gunner class, I actually don't have access to a lot of my gunner skills. It's very much skills that you get from the game that you get to use, which is kind of cool. I mean, you have some basic attacks and stuff like that you start with, but you loot like different skills, skills that would even show up in different classes while you're playing. And you'll see here I'm about to take someone out with a few of my classes there, our skills there. I had a few punches and stuff like that. This guy's obviously not really aware of what's going on, so it was a pretty easy first kill for me. And when you do kill them, you can break their tombstone to get some of their loot as well, which is nice. And very, similar to a lot of Battle Royale games. So there's skills that you can get. There's also health and ways to heal yourself you can get, as well as mobility you can get. Later on, once I do die, so spoilers, I don't win this, I do see someone get a sort of destructive vehicle of some sorts, like a battle suit, which looks pretty cool, so we'll sort of do some features on that too. Now, a very interesting part of this battle royale is kind of your field of view. That's that sort of light that's around you. And it definitely makes it so that, you only see enemies at a point where you're able to actually attack each other. Whereas, in Fortnite and other games like that, you can spot people from across the map and sort of be slowly following them and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Here, it's often the case that when you do find someone, you guys see each other right away and you jump into the action. And it takes away a little bit of the strategy of it and makes it more of a surprise game, but it does ramp up the excitement, and it ramps up the combat of it, right? So it gets you right into the action, and even in certain cases you can run into a bunch of people at once, right? And that's where it gets really interesting, or you run into two people that are fighting already. So that's pretty interesting to see as well. I'm checking out some of the sort of pieces I got here that are more utility based, which will sort of spawn on the right side of your controls, whereas the other ones will sort of spawn on, like your attacks, that is, will spawn on the left side. You see I got a heal out over time kind of leaf of some sort there to sort of bring myself up. And throughout the time that I was alive in this, I actually found a fair amount of things to heal myself, so it's kind of cool too. As you can see on the left side of the screen there, we just had a sort of message from the King Mushroom, and he says that there's a golden chest somewhere. So there's kind of incentives to go to different parts of the map and really get in the combat. And that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, a lot of battle royales have that as well with the supply drops and stuff like that. But it definitely encourages a bit more of fighting and stuff like that. So what you can see here that's very interesting about the field of view is that although I didn't see the person in my field of view, I was able to see the loot that explodes from a monster kind of trickle into my field of view. So it gives you that very eerie feeling that someone's nearby and you kind of want to go find them. Another part of this game that's very different from Fortnite is the fact that there are bushes and stuff like that you can sort of hide in, very much like League of Legends or something like that, where you can kind of wait and you're actually kind of stealthed. Whereas, in Fortnite and other games, you could hide yourself, but you're never actually technically stealthed. You're just like doing your best at hiding yourself. So that was pretty interesting. There's also environmental damaging things such as thorns and fires and stuff like that that'll tick away at your health. As well as, I guess I should say, the monsters that will drop stuff for you. So they are good to take out because they do drop really good stuff, but they can do damage to you as well, which is kind of an issue. What I do like about this as well is that they added an element of verticality to the game. For those of you who haven't played any of the betas for Maplestory 2, it's obviously a cube-like design, but there is a lot of verticality. You have a lot of mounts that will fly you around, that'll glide you around, and a lot of maps are very vertical. And I think it's a really cool part of the game. And I think it's a part of the game that plays very well with the cube-like design. You can see there that I just sort of launched myself into the sky with sort of a jump pad. And if you're able to use your mount right away, you can kind of glide away from that point. I was not at all prepared for it to happen, so I was like rushing to try and get my mount up in time, and I didn't really do so. But if you were, obviously playing this a lot and had the keys very well figured out, you could definitely like leap and escape pretty well, which is a pretty cool thing. At this point, I'm kind of running into some people that have a lot of different skills, as you can see there. And it was a very quick death for me in the end, which is kind of unfortunate, but it was pretty fun. You can see I got some experience from this and some sort of points towards a Mushroom King ranking. So it's kind of its own separate experience bar for the Mushroom King, and it gives you chests every so often, which is cool. This right here is that sort of mount I talked about, which is like a destructive robot that makes you really overpowered. I don't know how I feel about it. Obviously, there was kind of the situation where you had to cast for it looked like 5 to 10 seconds to equip it, which would be a pretty dangerous time for you. But as you can see here, it's a pretty powerful mount. Like, this person pretty much had to escape right out of there. And I don't know. It's an interesting thing to be so powerful. I'm not sure. Obviously, like Fortnite, and I keep on going back to Fortnite because that's really the only battle royale that I've played a significant amount of. There's been game modes where you get to be Thanos or something like that, and you are significantly more powerful than other people, but it comes at the cost of people knowing exactly where you are. As I didn't get to play in a position where I was going against this, I'm not sure if they're marked on the map or if it's just like maybe you only get this ability for a certain amount of time, I think would probably be more like it. But it does anyone I see fighting this person while they have the robot is just like, I gotta get out of here. Like, there's no one who's like, oh, this is a one-on-one that I can take or anything like that. So it definitely seems like quite the advantage to have this robot. But yeah, this is pretty much what the game looks like. You can see on the map, the mini map there, the circle's closing in very slowly. And there's a timer, as you can see on the left there, that sort of counts down until the circle moves in even more, which is cool. I thought the game mode was quite fun. It's obviously not super polished, and there's some things they could definitely change to make it work a bit better. But what I think is very impressive is, and I don't know how long they were working on this, but the fact that they, kind of just announced it recently-ish for the Korean version of the game, and now it's in the global beta test, is pretty cool that they were able to, sort of get on that hype and release it pretty quickly. And obviously some people are going to be, we don't want to follow every single trend, but it is cool that they're able to release new game modes into the game so quickly. Obviously, the way they've built the engine and the game itself allows for people to create these little mini games and different modes super easily, which is a lot of fun and really allows people to get creative with how they make this game play. So I'm pretty excited to see what different things get added, as well as to see how this gets polished up in the future, because any kind of PvP that you can use to level, I think is a lot of fun. Obviously, if you've been following Maplestory 2 at all, you know that for the first 50 levels-ish, it's pretty much just the story quest that you do. And then for the last bit of time after that, which we haven't really experienced in beta yet, so we can't super say, it's supposed to be a lot more grinding focused based on the other regions the game is released. And you know, as fun as both of those ways of leveling sound, I think having like PvP and mini games be up there a bit more would be a lot more interesting. Another way people are leveling is just through like playing music and stuff like that too, which is cool. I just think they really need to work on sort of balancing all the different ways that you can level to make it more of a choice between all of them. Obviously, certain ones that are easier should be a little bit toned down, I think, and ones that are a bit harder to do should be, you know, upgraded and escalated. What I do like about this is that I never felt like I was at a disadvantage for the class I chose or anything like that. I also queued into this right from making my character. Like, I made my character, went through their 30-second tutorial, landed in Letharber, and was queued up and in probably like 5 minutes, which I think is really cool that they have a game mode that's that accessible. Whereas a lot of the other PvP in this game, you kind of have to wait to be a lot higher level. And I think the main reason for that is the fact that you get to use, you know, skills that are given to you and environmental skills in this version of PvP, whereas the other ones are actually focused on your class skills. So it's got a very different feel from the other game modes and other PvP modes in the game. And I think that really makes it feel like a unique thing. They've also gone more of the creative, funny way with it, which fits very well with the rest of Maplestory 2. It's not like this serious battle royale scene or something like that. So I think it plays really well that way. You can see here we are down to the last 3 people, which is getting pretty interesting as the circle's really small. There's this like alarm thing there going off, and I, like, from the game that I played, hadn't really figured out what that does. So if someone else happens to know what it does in the comments, please do let me know. But it just kind of like started ringing. Like, I don't know if it's like a motion sensor to sort of let people know there was someone in the area or something like that, which could be the case, but I don't know. It's an interesting thing. See, this guy just pulled off the maneuver I was talking about where you sort of jump up and then fly around. And this is one of those just gliding mounts. So you're not actually able to use the flying mounts, which is a good thing. So you can't just stay in the air. You kind of have to glide down eventually. Oh, we're down to the last 2 people here. He just killed that other guy. He's sort of scouting it out. I mean, there's not many places this guy could be at this point, right? He's got to be around here. Actually, I just noticed I have this like mouse over an open menu thing just like flashing away the whole time, and I do apologize for that in the video. But at least you guys don't have it with the sound on, because I've noticed now that it makes a boop, boop, boop sound whenever it's like bouncing. So I saved you from that at least. All right, so he must be in this, yeah, he's behind there. There he is. And this is probably like he's running out into the storm there. Yeah, there you go. And there you have a victor. I don't know what experience you get for winning, but I had a fair amount of experience and fun just playing it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the game mode. I definitely suggest you guys try out Maplestory 2 if you haven't looked at it. Who knows how pay to win it's going to be or anything like that, but it's definitely a fun game at its core. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.